nodes of one level can be related with the nodes of the another level. That was hierarchical relationship. And tree and graph are nonlinear data structure. Okay, so now we'll see how we can define a graph, how we can create a graph, as well as how we can define the relationship between the elements of the graph. Okay, so graph is nonlinear data structure. So now in tree, how we created the tree, there will be some levels, and the elements of one level will be related to the elements of the another level. Okay, so suppose this is a binary tree, or this is just a tree, and here there are 6 nodes. So how we can create the hierarchical relationship? This node 1 from level 0 is related with the nodes 2 and 3 of the level 1. That is our tree. Okay, so now in graph, this is a nonlinear data structure, so sequential memory locations are not important. So how we can now denote a graph? So look at this. Suppose here we are taking some nodes 1, just like this one, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So how many nodes are here? 5 nodes. So in a graph, or a graph consists of 2 things. The first one is it consists of some vertices, or we can call them nodes. So in this graph, there are 5 vertices or 5 nodes. These are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So a graph need to have a set of vertices. So here, if we denote that set as V, this is capital V, so we have to take the curly braces. So a graph consists of a set of vertices. So here the vertices are 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So there are 5 vertices or 5 nodes. And the second thing is a graph need to have some edges, or a set of edge. What is edge? Edge is a connecting line of 2 nodes. If we create a connection between any 2 nodes, that will be referred to as edge. Look at this. This is an edge between the node 1 and 2. Okay, so now in the graph, if we add this 2 nodes 1 and 2 by this edge, so this is a connecting line, and you can call it edge. Then we can create another relationship between these 2 elements. So in a graph, the relationship, how relationship can be created? By taking an edge. Okay, so here, now in this graph, we can create a relationship between 2 and 3. So this is another edge, and then suppose 3 and 5 are related, then 4 and 5, 1 and 4, 2 and 4, and 4 and 3. So now look at the structure. Can we call it graph? Yes, because the definition of graph is a graph should have some vertices, and this structure has exactly 5 vertices, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and it needs to have a set of edges. So how many edges are here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There are 7 connecting lines between any 2 nodes of this. So what is the definition of graph? It will have some vertices, and this graph has exactly 5 vertices, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and there are some edges. So now we can denote this edge as E1, E2, E3, E4, E5, E6, and E7. So how many edges are here? 7 edges. So now we can enclose them in a set. That is, E is the set of all the edges of this graph. Suppose the name of this graph is G. So E1, E2, E3, E4, E5, E6, and E7, these are the age of this graph. Okay, so now if I remove this age E3 from the structure, now can I call it graph? What is the definition of a graph? The graph needs to have some vertices as well as some edges. What is edge? The connecting line between any two nodes. In this graph, there are 5 edges. And now after removing this edge E3, can we call it graph? Yes, it's still a graph. Why? Because the condition is any two nodes need to have a connecting line. There should be an edge between any two nodes. So look at this. How many vertices are here? Total 5 vertices. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. 1 is connected with 2. That means there is an edge between 1 and 2. Right? So if there is at least one edge or at least one node is connected with that node 1, that means this is a graph. So now can you find out whether all the nodes are connected with any other nodes of this graph? Look at 2. This is another node and it is connected with 1, 4, and 3 as well. So now 2 is connected with some nodes. What about 3? After deleting the edge between 3 and 5, still it's a graph. Why? Because all the nodes are connected with at least one of the other node. 3 is connected with 2, so now we can call it graph. What about 5? 5 is connected with 4, and the last node is 4, and it's also connected with the other nodes. Is it clear why it is still a graph? In a graph, if there are 5 nodes, then these 5 nodes need to connect it with any other nodes of the graph. Okay, so we can add this node, these edges again. So this is a graph. Okay, so now can we find out how many nodes are connected with this node 1, 2, 3, 4, 5? Now we can find out which nodes are the adjacent node of this node. What is adjacent node? Suppose 1 is connected with 2 and 4. So these 2 and 4 are called adjacent node of 1 or neighbors of 1. These are neighboring node of 1. So now we can create an adjacency list. For node 1, the adjacent nodes are 2 and 4. Because there is a direct relationship between 1 and 2 as well as 1 and 4. And for 2, how many nodes are its adjacent nodes? There is an edge between 2 and 3, another edge between 2 and 4, and another edge is between 2 and 1. So for 2, the adjacent nodes are 1, 3, and 4. What about 3? This 3 is connected with 2, 4, and 5. So for 3, there are 3 adjacent nodes, and these are 2, 4, and 5. What about 4? 4 is connected with all the other nodes, 1, 2, 3, 5. So there are 4 adjacent nodes for 4, 1, 2, 3, and 5. What about 5? 5 is connected with only 2 nodes, that is 3 and 4. So these 2 are adjacent node of 5. Okay, so now if it is a graph, how we can represent this graph? We can use the array or linked list representation, isn't it? But if we want to use the array for storing all these elements, at first we have to create adjacency matrix. What is matrix? It's a 2-dimensional array, right? So now how we can represent this graph as adjacency matrix? So look at this graph. In this graph, the number of node or vertices is 5, right? And the name of this matrix is adjacency matrix. That means we have to find out for each of these nodes, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, what are the adjacent nodes. Okay, we already have this adjacent list. Okay, so now this is a matrix. That means 2-dimensional array. This is n into m array, where n is the number of row and m is the number of column. So here these are our rows. Okay, in this row we'll try to find out that which nodes are the adjacent node of 1, and in this row we'll create some relationship with the other nodes. Okay, so what about the columns? Now which value should be taken? This is adjacency matrix, so we need some columns also. So this adjacency matrix is actually n into n matrix. That means in column we will also take this vertices 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Why? Because this is adjacency matrix. We have to find out the relationship among all those nodes. Okay, so this is our matrix, and what will be the size of this matrix, or how many values can be stored inside that matrix. Adjacency matrix is n into n matrix, and here n equals to 5, so there will be total 25 cells. 5 into 5 equals to 25. Okay, so now look at the graph. The first row is for the node 1, and here we have to find the relationship between 1 and 1, 1 and 2, 1 and 3, 1 and 4, and the last one is 1 and 5. Okay, so how we can find out the relationship? Look at this. This H is between 1 and 2, and if the first row is for the node 1, then we have to consider this node as the source node or the starting point. So now we have to find out how many edges belong that node 1, or this is our source node, right? And from this node we can see how many edges. 2 edges, one from 1 to 2, another from 1 to 4. That means 1 is connected with 2 and 4, isn't it? Well, look at the adjacency list. We already got this list, and here for 1 the neighboring nodes are 2 and 4. But in this adjacency matrix, we have to fill up all these cells. The first cell is for 1 and 1. Okay, so 1 and 1, that means we have to find out, is there any edge where the starting point is 1 as well as the end point is 1? Is there any edges like this? This is the loop or closed path where the starting node and the end node are same. But in this graph, there is no loop. That means in this cell, we have to put a 0. Is it clear? What is the relationship of these two nodes? Between 1 and 1, there is no edges which started from 1 and ends at 1. That's why in this cell, we'll add 0. Now, the next cell is for 1 and 2. Here, 1 is the starting point and 2 is the end point. Okay, so how many edges are there between 1 and 2? Only one edge, that is E1. 1 is connected with 2, right? So if 1 is a starting point from this node, how many edges are there for reaching to this point 2? Only one edge, E1. So if 1 and 2 are related, we have to put 1. That means 1 and 2 are adjacent node. Okay, now the next node is 3. Is there any relationship between the node 1 and 3? Look at the graph. Is there any edges between 1 and 3? No. So there is no relationship between 1 and 3, so its value will be 0. And the next one is 4. The starting node is 1 and the end node is 4, and there is a HE5. So here we can write 1. That is, it's true. 1 and 4 are adjacent nodes. That is true. That's why the value is 1. Okay, the last relationship is between 1 and 5, but there is no direct connection, or there is no edges between these two nodes, so they are not adjacent nodes. Okay, so now the second row will be used as, 2 will be considered as the source node or the starting node. So the first node is 1. Is there any relationship between 2 and 1? Yes. Look at this. This is not any directed graph. The direction is not given, so we can consider this edge as from 1 to 2 or from 2 to 1. Okay, so now when 2 is a source node, we can say that from 2 there is a path, there is an edge to 1, from 2 to 1. So these two nodes are adjacent nodes, so we can put 1. The next one is 2, 2. That means the starting node is 2 and the end node is 2. Is there any loop here? No. So they are not adjacent node, 0. Now the next one is 2 and 3. Starting node is 2 and end point is 3. So there is an edge C2. So they are adjacent node. What about 2 and 4? There is an edge between 2 and 4, so they are also adjacent nodes. The last one is 2 and 5. There is no edges between these two nodes, so they are not adjacent nodes. The third row is for 3. Look at this here. We can actually place 0 in this diagonal, right? Because there are no loops. So for 3 and 1 are not connected. So here the value will be 0. What about 3 and 2? Yes, there is an edge E2. So the value will be 1. And between 3 and 4, there is an H E7, so they are adjacent 4. 3 and 5 are also connected, so here you can write 1. So what about the fourth row? The first relationship is between 4 and 1. Are they adjacent? Yes, there is an H between 4 and 1, that is E5. Here we can write 1. What about 4 and 2? Yes, they are related, they are adjacent nodes. 4 and 3, they are also adjacent nodes. What about 4 and 5? They are also adjacent nodes. Look at this list. For 4, there are 4 adjacent nodes. And 5 is only connected with 3 and 4. So here we can only put value in this cell. So this is our adjacency matrix representation of graph. Okay, from this matrix we can say that if A is the name of this matrix and if I is the row value and J is the column value, then Aij equals to, if Aij equals to 1, then we can say that I and J are adjacent nodes. I and J are adjacent nodes. So look at this here, A, 2, 3. I equals to 2 and J equals to 3. What is the value of that cell? 1, which means that 2 and 3 are adjacent nodes. Okay, what about 3 and 3? Here I equals to 3, J equals to 3, and the value is 0. That means they are not adjacent. Is it clear what is adjacency?
Last is not clear.
Okay, so from this adjacency matrix, we can take the decision that which nodes are adjacent nodes or which are not. Okay, so how we can take the decision? Just look at these values 0 and 1. If the cell value is 0, now look at this row and column value here. I equals to 1, J equals to 1. For this 2 value, the cell value is 0. That means they are not adjacent. They are not neighboring node. There is no edges between these two nodes. Okay, now another is 3 and 4. When I equals to 3 and J equals to 4. So here A 3, 4 equals to 1.
Yes, ma'am.
If equals to 1, that means they are adjacent. That means there is a direct edge between 3 and 4. That is adjacency. Clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So now look at this tree. In a tree, how we usually find out the degree? How we can find out the degree of any node or the degree of a tree? What is degree? The tree is given. From this tree, how we can find out the degree of the node 2 or the node 6 or the node 1? The degree of 1, the degree of the root node is the degree of the whole tree. So how we usually calculate degree? Degree is the number of children a node has. Here 2. This node has how many children? 2 children, 4 and 5. So the degree of 2 is 2. What about 3? 3 has only 1 children, so its degree is 1.
1 degree.
The degree of this tree is 2. Why? Because the root node has 2 children, so the degree of this tree is 2. So how we can find out the degree of these vertices in this graph G? So the degree of a node is the number of edges containing that node. Suppose we want to find out what is the degree of E. Sorry, what is the degree of 1? Now we have to find out how many edges are here which contains that node or 1. Very good. 2, because 1 is connected with only 2 and 4. There is only 2 edges, E1 and E3, which contains that node 1. So the degree of 1 is 2. What about 4? What is the degree of 4?
Ma'am, 4, ma'am.
Very good. The degree of 4 is 4. Why? Because there are 4 edges containing that node 4. But 4 is connected with 4 nodes via 4 edges, so its degree is 4. Okay, so if there is a node which doesn't have any connection with any other node, we can say that that node's degree is 0. So if EU is a node and if degree of EU is 0, that means that node is not connected with any other nodes of that graph, and we can call it isolated node. Clear what is degree? Now the next term is what is path length. In this tree, how we usually calculate the path length? Suppose we want to know what is the path length of 4. And we usually calculate the number of edges between the root node and that node. Okay, so here between 1 and 4, the number of edges is 2. That means the path length of 4 is 2. But what about the path sequence? Path sequence is from the starting node to end node. How many nodes are here? 1, 2, 4. This is the path sequence for 4. Although its path length is 2. What is the path length? Path length is 2. So now in graph, how you can find out the path length? Suppose we want to find, so here in graph, we cannot just find out the path length for a single node. Okay, suppose u and v, this is some suppose variable, and u equals to 1 or v equals to suppose 3. So what will be the path length of u and v, or 1 and 3?
And 2, ma'am.
Very good, 2. Why? Look at this. If 1 is the starting node and if 3 is the destination node, then we can use this path for traveling to the destination node. From 1 to 3, there are 2 edges, E1 and E2. That's why the path length.
Ma'am, if we calculate 1, 4, 3, then.
Yeah, let me explain it. Okay, so I'll go there later. So at first, if we take this path, then between 1 and 3, the path length will be 2. But what is the path sequence? The path sequence is 1, 2, and 3. Okay, but we can see that there is another path between that node 1 and 3, that is 1, 4, 3. If we want, we can take this path also. So in this path, the path sequence will be 1, 4, 3, but the path length is same, 2. And there is another path, 1, 4, 5, 3. This is our starting node, this is the end node, and we can travel to that node in 3 ways. One is in this direction, 1 to 2, then 2 to 3, where the path length is 2. Another way is from 1 to 4 and then from 4 to 3 with path length 2. Another way is 1, 4, 5, 3. Here the path length is 3. Clear? What is path length?
Yes, ma'am.
So now again, okay, I'm taking another graph. Suppose this is a graph, 5 nodes. There are 5 vertices, A, B, A and B are connected, then B to C, A and C are also connected, just the same one, just I just changed the vertices. Okay. So how many vertices are here? 5 vertices, A, B, C, D, and E, right? So now, what kind of graph it is? In this graph, you can see that there are some nodes and there are some edges. The edges are E1, E2, E3, E4, E5, E6, and E7. So there are 7 edges. And here in this graph, is there any edge or is there any node? Suppose these are 2 nodes, A and B. So how many edges are there between A and B? Only 1 edge. And look at this 2 node, A and E. How many edges are there between this 2 node A and E? Only 1 edge, right? So in this graph, you can see that between any 2 nodes, the number of edges is only 1. Isn't it?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So now, if I remove these parts, at that time, can you find out how many edges are here? Now 6 edges. This is also a graph, but now we are trying to define it in another way. Okay. So here, after deleting this node, now look at this. There are how many nodes? 5 nodes, and between any 2 nodes, there is an edge. But between these 2 nodes, D and D, there is ages. This is a graph, but now how we are defining it? We are defining it in terms of the number of ages between any two nodes. Okay, so here between A and B there is an HE1, A and D there is another HE2, between E and C there is an HE6. Okay, but there is no ages between E and D. So now after adding this H here, now there is an H between E and D. So in a graph, if any two nodes have an H, and if there is not more than one H between any two nodes, that graph will be called simple graph. Or we can call it connected graph. So what is connected graph?
And every node we find a edge
between D and E.
Every two node, ma'am.
It's not connected graph. That is just a graph, but not connected graph. So in connected graph, there should be some edges. There should be actually one edges between any two node. Any two node, that means between A and B, we have to find out on one edge. Between A and E, there should be an edge. Between D and E, also there should be an edge. Then you can call it connected graph. So in a connected graph, there will be a simple path between any two nodes. So now what is simple path? We know what is path length or what is path sequence, but what is simple path? Look at this. In this graph, suppose we want to find out what is the path sequence of B and E. How we can find out the path sequence of B and E? The path length is 2 and the path sequence is, one path sequence is B, A, E, and there is another path sequence of similar length 2, that is B, C, E. You can take any two nodes. You can take any other node. Suppose.
And B, C, D, E, another sequence.
Sorry, which one?
And B, C, D, E, another path sequence.
Okay, we are just taking the path of 2 length. Here the length is 2. Okay, so here in this path sequence where the path length is 2, look at the node. The first node is B and then A and E. And in the second wave, there are 3 nodes B, C, E. We are calling it simple path. Why? Because here all the nodes are distinct, or we didn't take any node twice here. All the nodes are taken at how many times? Only once. B, A, E. If we start from here, from this node B, how we can travel to this destination node? In this way, by following this path, B, A, E. And in this way, all the nodes are taken only once. That's why it's called simple path. All the nodes are distinct. From starting to one point, and this is our destination point, we didn't take any node twice. So this is a simple path. Okay. So now there is another type of path which is called cycle. What is cycle? Suppose now we want to start from this node A. This is our source node, and in how many ways we can travel from this node? Look at this. If we start from this node, and in connected graph, there is an edge between any two nodes. So if we start from here, A, then E, C, B, and then again we can go to that node A. Look at this. Suppose we are trying to find out the cycles of length 4. So at first we need to know what is cycle. What is simple path? In a path sequence, all the nodes should be distinct. In a cycle, the starting node and the end node should be same. But that doesn't mean that after starting from this node, we can go to that node directly. No, that is a loop. That is not cycle. So what is cycle? After starting from this node, then we can traverse, you can visit to other nodes, but at last we have to again reach to that starting node. So in a cycle, the starting node and the end nodes are same. So look at this. If we want to find out how many cycles are here from this node A, how many cycles are here of length 4? If we take this path A, B, C, E, and A, how many edges are here? 4 edges. E1, E5, E6, E2. So this is a path sequence of length 4. And why we're calling it cycle? Look at this. A, B, C, E, and A. So we started from this node A, and now our destination node is also A. So that's why it's called cycle, where the starting node and the end node is same. But why can't call it loop or closed path? Because closed path here will always start from a node and end at that node, but there will not be any intermediary node between this one. So this is a loop where the starting node is B and the end node is B, and there are no other nodes inside between these two nodes. And this is called a loop or a closed path. So there are three types of paths. One is simple path, where all the nodes are distinct in that path sequence. Another is cycle, where the starting node and the end nodes are same, but between these two nodes there can be some other nodes. What is loop or closed path? The starting node and the end nodes are same, and there are no other nodes between these two nodes. Is it clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So now, can we find out the degree of the nodes? How many degrees, or what is the degree of the node C?
Ma'am, 4, ma'am.
Yes, the degree of C is 4. Why? Because it's connected with 4 nodes. So there are 4 edges containing that node C. So its degree is 4. Okay, so that is connected graph. Now there is another kind of graph we can use, and it's called complete graph. Okay. So what is complete graph? In the previous one, in connected graph, there is actually one edge between any two nodes. Okay. In connected graph, any two nodes cannot have more than one edge. So what is complete graph? Suppose here the number of vertices are 4, A, B, C, and D. These are 4 vertices. And now these A and B are connected. A and C are connected. A and D are also connected. That means here one node A is connected with all the other nodes B, C, and D of this graph. Now the next node is B. B is already connected with A. Now B is connected with C, and it's also connected with D. So this node B also connected with all the other nodes, right? The next node is C. C is connected with A and B, and now it's connected with D also. And D is connected with all the other nodes. So when in a graph, a node is connected with all the other nodes, that is called complete graph. In the previous one, in connected graph, it's not mandatory that there will be relationship between this node with all the other nodes. It's not mandatory. But in complete graph, one node should have a relationship with the other, all the other nodes. There, what is complete graph? And this is like mesh topology. In mesh topology, one device can be connected with all the other devices, right? So here, for connecting all these nodes, how many edges we need? Look at this. In this graph, how many edges are here?
6 edges.
1, E2, E3, E4, E5, and E6. Okay. So here in this graph, the number of nodes can be 5 or 6, right? So can it create a relationship between the number of vertices and the number of edges? The relationship is, or the equation is, n into n minus 1 divided by 2. If a graph has n number of vertices, then the number of edge will be n into n minus 1 divided by 2. And this is only for this complete tree. So here n equals to 4. 4 into 4 minus 1, that is 3. 4 into 3 equals to 12 divided by 2. 12 divided by 2 equals to 6. If the number of vertices are 5, then 5 into 4, that is 20. 20 divided by 2, 10. Okay, so in complete graph, the number of edges n into n minus 1 divided by 2. Okay, and here in complete graph, so we can say that one node or every node is actually adjacent to every other node. Here A is adjacent node of the other nodes B, C, D, and B is the adjacent node of A, C, and D. So this is complete graph. Okay. So in the previous one, in connected graph, we don't usually prefer to have some loops. We don't usually add some loops there. But in complete graph, if we want, we can we add the loop? What is loop? The starting point and the end point is same. So here, can we take loop? No. In complete graph also, we cannot assign any loop. Okay. So now the next one is multi-graph. What is multi-graph? In connected graph, in complete graph, look at this, there is only one edge between any two nodes. But when the number of edges between two nodes is 2 or more than 2, that is called multi-graph. So now here we can take a figure like this. Suppose this is a node. Okay, so look at this. A and B, and suppose it's not a complete graph. So this is the edge A5, and then there is a loop and another edge between B and C. Okay, so what is it? It is a multi-graph. Why it is multi-graph? Because now here between any two nodes, the number of edges is more than one. Between A and B, how many edges are here? Two edges. One is E1 and another is E5. Okay. And another thing is, in a multi-graph, if we want, we can assign some loops, some closed paths. So there is a loop. So this is called multi-graph. Clear? What is multi-graph? The only difference here, we can, any two nodes can be connected with more than one edge. Okay. So now,
but in complete graph there is no loop. That is not clear, ma'am.
No. Okay. So now the next graph is called weighted graph. We can take the same graph with 5 nodes and 7 edges. A, B, C, D, E. And these are the edges: E1, E2, E3, E4, E5, E6, and E7. Okay. So now, instead of writing this node, suppose here we are assigning some values to each of this node. E1 equals to 5, or E2 equals to 2, or E3 equals to 1, E4 equals to 2, E5 equals to 1, E7 equals to 3, and E6 equals to 3. So what kind of graph it is? It is called weighted graph. What is weight? When you are assigning some values to these edges, this is called weighted graph. Okay, so now here we can easily denote any node by their weights. Okay, so in the previous one, suppose there can be several ways or several paths between any two nodes. Between B and E, there are two ways. One is BAE and another is BCE. Now we can easily take the decision which path we should follow for reaching to that point E. Which one will take? Obviously the lowest path length, right? So between B and E, there are two path sequence of similar length, two. One is BCE and another is BAE. So now if we take the first path, then how much time we need for traveling from B to E? Just add all the weights. Here between B and A there is an edge and its weight is 5. So 5 plus 3 equals to 7. The weight of this two node is 10, or this path sequence is 10. What about the second path sequence? It is B, C and E, and the weight of B, C is 2. What about C and E? The weight is 1. So 2 plus 1 equals to 3. So which path will take? Obviously the second one. Okay, so when we're assigning some values to the edges, that is called weighted graph. So there is another graph we can use which is called tree graph. Okay, so what is tree graph? Suppose this is a node A, B, okay, this is C, but they are not connected, and D and E are connected, C, E, and C and F. So look at this graph. Now, how this graph is different from the previous graph that is connected or complete or weighted graph. This structure is called tree graph, but can you find any differences between the connected graph, complete graph, and this one, the tree graph? Is there any difference? What is the definition of connected graph? There should be an edge between any two nodes, and all the paths are simple paths. The paths are simple, or we can have some cycles also. But the connected graph cannot have any loop. What about complete graph? One node is connected with all the other nodes in that graph. So now look at this tree graph. Is it a connected graph? No.
No, ma'am.
In B and C, there is no edges, so it's not connected graph. Is it complete graph? No. Right. So how we can find out some characteristics of this structure, this tree graph? In connected graph, there can be some simple paths as well as some cycles. Okay, but here in tree graph, all the paths are unique simple paths. What does that mean? That means, look at this, between A and E, if we want to find out a path, there should be only one way for traveling from this point to this one. In connected graph, there can be several ways for traveling from one point, one node to another one. But here, in tree graph, any two nodes cannot have more than one way, more than one path sequence. Look at this, between A and D, there is only one way, A, B, E. And this is a simple path. Between D and C, there is only one way, D, E, C. This is a simple path. There is no cycles here. So how you can define tree graph? In a tree graph, we can find only one way between any two nodes, only one path sequence between any two nodes. And here, there cannot be, we cannot assign any cycles, or it cannot have any loop. That is tree graph. Okay, and another characteristic of tree graph is if the number of nodes is n, then the number of edge will be n minus 1 always. So how many nodes are here? 6 nodes, A, B, C, D, E, F. And how many edges are here? Only 5. E1, E2, E3, E4, E5. Here are how many edges? 5 edges. So in a tree graph, all the paths are unique simple paths. And the number of edge is 1 less than number of vertices. Is it clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so so far we discussed about how many types of graphs. Connected, then complete, weighted graph, multi-graph, and tree graph. And all those graphs were they are undirected graph. So what is directed graph? So look at this structure. This is a graph with 2 nodes, A, B, C, and D. Okay. And B and D are connected. So what kind of graph it is?
Undirected?
Yes, it is undirected. And is it complete graph, or is it connected graph, or weighted graph, or multi-graph? What type of graph it is?
It's not connected.
Connected, ma'am.
It's the connected graph. Why it is connected graph? Because there is an edge between any two nodes. Between A and B, there is an edge. Between A and D, there is another edge. Between D and C, there is also another edge. But what about A and C? Is it connected?
No, ma'am.
No, ma'am.
Actually not connected because between A and C there is no
Direct connection. Yes, there has no.
direction, there is no edge. Okay. And what about the direction here? If it is an edge E1, then we can consider this edge E1 from A to B as well as from B to A, right? If E2 is the edge between B and C, there is no direction, so we don't know which one is the starting node and which one is the end node. So you can say that this E2 can be considered as a path or edge from B to C or from C to B because it's undirected graph. But now in directed graph, or you can call it the graph here, the directions will be always given. The directions will be always given. Okay, suppose from A to D, this is our first path and E1. So how we can make it directed graph? So look at the direction. This indicates that this edge E1 is from A to D. Right. So now the second one is E2. So this is the edge E2 and this edge is from suppose B to A. This is from B to A. Okay, and there is another edge that is E3. Now this is from A to B, or you can take it here, B to A. Look at this. Now these two nodes have more than one edge, so this is one kind of multigraph. E2 is from B to A, and there is another edge E3 from B to A, which makes it multigraph because these two nodes now have more than one edge. There are two edges from B to A. Okay, so now we can take another edge from D to B, and that edge is 4. And then from B to C, that is E5. From D to C, that is E6. So now this is a directed graph. And how many edges are here? The number of vertices are 4. The vertices are A, B, C, D. And how many edges you can find here? There are total
6.
6 edges. 6 edges. But now, can we find out the adjacent node? How we can find out the adjacent node of 1? So now we can take only those nodes or only those edges where A is the starting node. So this one, the edge E1 here, the source node is A and the destination node is D. So you can say that D is adjacent node of A. But we can't say that B is adjacent node of A because there is no edges from A to B. That's why B is not adjacent node of A. Okay, is there any adjacent node of A? No. There is only one edge starting from A. So D is the only neighboring node of A. What about B?
And
There are
A
two
and
edges.
D.
So A is
No,
the
no, A and C, ma'am.
Yes, A and C. There is another edge from B to C. So C is the adjacent node of B. What about C? C doesn't have any.
No node, ma'am.
Yes, so its adjacency is 0. What about D? D is connected with
B and C.
And B to B.
B and C. B and C. So this is the adjacency list of this directed graph. Okay, so for an undirected graph, we can easily find out the degree. We just have to find out how many nodes are connected to that node, then we can calculate the degree. But what about this directed graph? So now here each node can have two types of degree. One is called out degree, and that is outgoing degree, or ingoing degree, or in short we can write in degree. So what is the outgoing degree and what is ingoing degree? Sorry, I'm saying incoming degree. One is out degree and another is in degree. There's a short form of outgoing degree and another is in degree. Okay, so for A, suppose here we want to find out its outgoing degree and incoming degree. So how I can find it out?
Outgoing degree of A is 1,
A
ma'am.
to D.
1 degree.
How we can define it? The
From
number of edges beginning at A.
going
The
to
number
that point.
starting from A. Okay, so there is only one edge starting at that point A. That's why the out degree is 1. What about incoming degree?
Ma'am, 2 degree, ma'am.
Number of edges ended at A. So there are 2 edges from B to A. So the out in degree is 2. Very good. What about C? The out degree of C is 0.
0.
Right? The out degree of C is 0. What about incoming degree?
2.
Ma'am, 1, ma'am.
2, ma'am.
Why 1?
Ma'am, 2,
5 and
ma'am.
E6.
From
B and
B to C, another is from B to C, that is E5 and E6. So incoming degree is 2. So in this way, we can find out the in degree or out degree of any node. Is it clear?
Yes, ma'am.
So in the next class, we'll discuss some other property of this connected graph. Okay. So now we discussed about how many types of graph, maybe 4 or 5 types, right? And that is simple graph, connected graph, complete graph, weighted graph, multi-graph, tree graph, and then the last one is directed graph. Okay. So in the next class, we'll discuss about some other properties of graph as well as graph traversal. That is how we can traverse the graph. In tree, we use 3 types of traversal method: in order, pre-order, post-order. So in graph also you can use some traversal algorithm for traversing all the nodes. So do you have any question in this lecture? Any question?
No, ma'am. It's clear.
Okay, that's great. So now please respond. One, Nasir Raihan.